Yeah, we need to declare the benefits. So, they try to make the last one. They saw it, so they should wait till all the others. Oh, okay. Well, you're agenda tonight. So I think Albert's.
So let's start waiting on it. No? Are you ready?
Ready? Yeah.
We're requesting to come out of the executive session and it's 1:51. So based on what was discussed and what was presented to us, we agreed to have an evidentiary, what? We didn't say, an evidentiary hearing. What date does everyone have available?
Is this the process of after going into executive session on something like this? This is the process where if we did agree to go for another step or?
No, yeah, so this was a decision made by the council in executive session. Well, it's not settled, but this is the decision that the council made to move forward on this is an evidentiary hearing.
Could you explain what that actually is here, and shouldn't this have unconstitutional court?
Well, there's three parts to this complaint. And so the part in regards to the violation of the Constitution comes here. And the part of the complaint that pertains to the judge will go to constitutional court. the hearing is a public, is
The
public.
evidentiary.
The evidentiary is,
Out here.
yes.
Do you have a date set for it?
For the minutes, I don't know if you-
Evidentiary hearing for what? Yeah. What's the, I guess, what's
Definition.
the, yeah. what's the-
Somebody's phone ringing over here.
Okay, so after the evidentiary hearing and after the constitutional court, what is the precedent set here for this becoming a norm? I mean, we don't know what the charges were, there's no way to consider it. Evidentiary and the constitutional. But what way do we decide on what the charges were and what the options would be?
There was no charges presented. There was no charges presented. What we got was basically a show cause packet. That's the route that we're taking, is to do it evidentiary hearing so we can hear both sides.
Okay, but do we still know what it's about? Like here.
If they choose to share it with you, we discuss what we discussed in, executive. So if either side chooses to discuss it with the public, that's their choice.
What is the, I guess, what is the end result of what you're after here? Is it a removal of evidence? What is it? I mean, I don't understand it.
What is the process that we do?
Well, I mean, you're gonna hear everybody, and then what's the verdict? You know? You're gonna say, all right, yeah, he was, he's gone by, or no, we're gonna do this and this. I guess I don't understand, kind of a personality issue, along with that. I guess I don't understand what it's all about, what it all entails.
What is being brought up is that a violation to the Constitution took place by the executive branch. A violation of the separation of powers that falls under the realm of tribal council as far as jurisdiction and violation and anything that has to do with the Constitution supersedes any other
Yes.
matter, I guess. We're the highest voting body of the tribe. And, you know, when it comes to removals or anything of that nature, it's a supermajority of tribal council is what has to take place in order to enact it. So,
3 days.
it's a super 8 majority, the 2/3. So in this situation, we want to allow, in his defense, an opportunity to come with their evidence as well and hear both sides. And then from that point, we'll determine whether or not a violation of the Constitution took place. What we were given today is the show cause has kind of it's triggered a hearing. We want to have a hearing where we're going to hear both sides, where we're going to see all of their evidence. We haven't seen all of the evidence that has been presented by the party, the complaining party.
Why, if you don't have all the evidence to present us in this type of court, usually if you go to outside court, so they have one, if you're not prepared to bring this to fruition in front of the meeting, in front of the process, then they delay it and say, okay, come back when you have all your documentation. So you hear both sides of this thing. It's not, I can present this, I'm gonna file a charge, okay, well, I'll read my evidence later. But in the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and do all this, and at this point, they're just accusations. That's what we're doing.
All due respect, that wasn't what happened. They had a pile of stuff here that, because it wasn't a hearing, or because of, people saying it's a separation of powers violation just by them coming here. I don't think I think the constitutional violation supersedes the separation of powers. I think that if a violation occurred, that there needs to be consequences if that's the case. But I'm not going to sit here and base my decisions strictly off of what they presented. I would like Gene to have an opportunity to, and that's what we're saying, is an evidentiary hearing where both sides are able to tell their side of the story. If it has to be, and that's something that we're going to have to figure out dates and how we do go about this. Everything that's happening right now is unprecedented. We've never had a executive branch violate the separation of powers that I know of, if that's the case. But if it's damn if you do, damn if you don't. If we don't do this, then we're not fulfilling our obligation to uphold the Constitution of the Northern Cheyenne Tribe or the separation of powers. So we would be violating our oath if we don't get this figured out. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to get this figured out. We're not trying to he say, she said, anything. This is we're trying to create a process for something that's unprecedented. It's never happened. So.
Okay, what does the tribe's attorney per se have to say about this? What is his guidance to this council? Or is it to just certain individuals that he is counseling? How does this attorney have any part of a solution to what's going on here today?
Well, unfortunately, the information that was provided to the attorney was provided by the president, not by the council. It was provided by one person, not both sides. So what he was given was what he was given. It wasn't all of the information in totality. So how is he able to give us any legal advice on anything when he's not given the entirety of the situation?
I gave him what was given to me, Troy. That's what I forwarded to you. So whatever Melissa gave to me is what I forwarded to you.
So he steps out of this thing here, and this for the council to deal with. He has nothing to do with this as far as trying to help here, what we're paying him for. Or does he stay out of this conversation because now it's not his realm anymore?
He stayed out, and his legal opinion in here was based on personnel matters, and that's not the case. So, he wasn't given everything, we were given everything today, and that's what we reviewed. So, that's why we decided to go a step further with the evidentiary hearing, so we can hear both sides.
Okay, if he wasn't giving you the full legal opinion on both sides, then do you have it in writing?
His legal opinion? Yeah, we have it.
Okay, and it was always my understanding, instead of coming in front of the council, it was to go to constitutional court, because it's a constitutional matter.
For a judge removal, it is.
Excuse me?
To remove a judge, it goes to the constitutional court.
No, it was any elected official. It's my understanding.
No, that's not the case.
Okay, I'll read the constitution.
Yeah, it's right here.
Okay. Thank you.
If you're going to use public facilities and you're going to use public officials to do this kind of stuff, then we all need to be notified. Because a lot of stuff that happens here, we don't know until after the fact. And we have to find out. We have to dig. And nobody's digging, we don't know. So a lot of stuff that happens here, none of the tribal council members know about it. So if you're having it here in our building, you should have the courtesy of telling us what's going on. And if it's a private matter between this person, that person, the other, then it should be down at the tribal court. So for them to take care of it. But for you to bring it here, you need to explain to us the ramifications, how it's gonna affect all of us. Because he is the person in charge, and we are the people that need to see that our leadership is leading us. What we see here is fighting, dissension. We see all this congregation of laws. You guys are changing laws left and right. The judges are ready to quit because they don't want to be held liable for these resolutions you're writing. So I'm going through all the resolutions and I'm finding out what they mean. And I'm going to give them to the people. And so some of the things that we need to do in this building is to inform the people what's going on with us. Because this is our building. This doesn't belong to you guys. This belongs to all of us. And I'm just asking for clarification on stuff that has our livelihood at stake. Fort Peck is losing their LEAC program right now. We're on that list. What are we going to do about that? EDSCAR will not going to be available next year. These are the issues that are reported to us. Now you have these inner problems that you're fighting against each other. We see them in the Tribal Council. What we see is dissension. What we see is problems. What we see is our government not on the same page. When Trump is coming, he don't believe in drugs, he's going to come down and end us. What are we doing for that? You know, we need to get our stuff taken care of. We need to be on the same page, all of it. If you're going to use our house to do that, please let us know what's going on in our house. Thank you.
I have one more comment. It is my understanding that the president leads all the meetings. It isn't the sergeant at arms. He announces what's on the agenda. Do you give him an agenda to read? He needs to be the spokesperson of this meeting. That is his duty to lead these meetings. And I noticed that sergeant at arms has no place to read the agenda. It should be in Gene's hands. And then as far as violation of the Constitution, that needs to go to Constitutional Court. You can't set up any home meeting someplace. And if you make the rules and regulations that affect the whole tribe, you are supposed to go to each district and explain why you want, say, the Constitution changed, for example, and what are the pros and cons, and let the people be aware of what is going to affect them. And it's also my understanding when you change to enforce, time served in the jail, somehow that didn't get down to BIA. And the time served is still at 20. What did you guys up it to? 50 or 75, if I remember correctly. Now, those are the majority of Cheyennes that are getting affected. If I get thrown in, $20 a day. Why aren't we fixing this jail down here so we can bring our people home? It's also my understanding that I, as a mother, can't go out there and see my son or daughter or whatever the case may be because there's no visitation. And then they're shipped out of state. These are problems that affect our totality of Cheyenne people. They need to be worked on. This court here needs to go to the Constitutional Court. If it affects the Constitution, that's where it needs to go. Thank you.
Well, we talk about fighting people, we talk about fighting amongst each other, but look at us, we're all fighting on council. What's set into place, we voted for. We voted for these people to sit here. Doesn't give us the right to come in here, to argue with them, put them down, blast them on social media. We voted for these people. This is nothing personal against Gene, nothing.
Well, I
We all
I
voted.
respect
But
that.
what I'm saying is, what he's saying is, and what Linwood talked about today. This right here is a tribal member. Born and raised here, has kids here, has livelihood here. What the council decided to do, to have this evidentiary hearing, then that's what's gonna happen. Constitutional court comes the next remedy. I watch these council meetings, I never come here, because I voted for these people. I don't come here and fight with them and argue with them, but I watch everybody else do it. Why are we fighting with our counsel that we put here? Talk about shining people, protecting our people, watching out for our people. A boy was murdered in Busby, nothing happened. A shining keeps a shining. So I just want, my question is when is this evidentiary hearing gonna take place? Because we're messing with the livelihood of a shining family here. This has nothing personal against Gene. On a personal level, nothing against him. But this has to happen. When things aren't right, my dad always taught us, things aren't right, say they're not right.
Well, that's exactly
Don't
what
just sit there and
we're
complain and gossip. That's not right. I'm not gonna go out and talk about Gene. I'm not gonna go out, put our counsel down. That's not right. What needs to happen is what took place at that courthouse that wasn't right. And the shining member, she did the right thing, came to her people, her counsel.
I'd like to, we all have a matter of opinion, we say just because you.
It's not what you have, I say it right now. I agree with you. You should just say that here,
I respect you guys, I respect everything you guys are doing here. I think that, in my defense, we don't know if that happened that way. You guys got the evidence on your end, and I appreciate the fact that it's gonna get you presented on my end. That's all I wanted out of it still, but I'm still in a misunderstanding. That's what I'm still having an issue with is what are the end result of this? That's my issue. What are we voting on here? What is this? Is this a removal? Is it gonna be a removal hearing? What is it?
They just said they were having an evidentiary hearing.
We just want both sides to be heard. And then we'll hear both sides of the story and then we'll see what happens from there. But this is what the evidentiary hearing is gonna do. It's gonna give you the opportunity. It's gonna give them the opportunity. It's gonna give you, 15 minutes from there, 15 minutes from you. It's gonna give, 30 minutes from you. You know what I mean? It's just gonna give everybody an opportunity.
So to do a removal hearing?
It's an evidentiary hearing where it's gonna give you the opportunity to be heard.
It has nothing to do with the removal, it's just, to where they hear both sides and see how they can remedy it. That's it.
So that's what the family's asking for, is the fairness to be heard and something done about that. It's not looking for where you're gonna try to get rid of the tribal council or a president because of it. And I'm trying to focus on what is all happening here and to learn and understand and hear people out. Because I've never heard of this.
Brian had a long-term problem, and the council has never remedied my situation. How many administrations? How many council? When is that going to stop? Do you guys need to put something in writing, some kind of thing that you can follow? Because I've been waiting for a long time. I brought my housing issue and my personnel issue here. If I had to go up this ladder, this is where I made it, this is where it's still stuck. A lot of the times you guys don't finish it up, you just leave it sit there. And that's not fair to us. And I've been homeless for a long time. And all the things I was appealed for have never been answered. Why? Because this is my final step. And how many years I waited? That should tell you guys something. You need to develop something. You need to do time frames. So it needs to be developed.
You guys are providing us each other. We're here help you guys. You guys are working with the people, not yourself, just helping the people. To fight what you say, fight with the president. The president is not order above all you. In order to override the president. Let's say you had a cop in here. You start roads, you have a cop in here to back you up. You start roads, this is child building, you know, federal building. You understand that? This is a child building. You start roads, you're supposed to stand up for yourself.
But who's going on first?
Yeah, you guys did.
I didn't.
Here was cops in here.
All right, let's move on.
Well, I'm gonna fight you.
Yeah, so you're putting perception that
We're fighting each other.
this is what's causing the division, is this response. And it's putting perceptions out there that are not true. We've been working on the jail. We've had hundreds of meetings regarding law enforcement, regarding the jail. We've been, the concerns regarding the federal government, we've been dealing with those. We've been expressing our concern about the future of our programs, which are going to be non-existent. So we have to provide our own revenue to take care of us. And every governmental institution that we have could go away tomorrow. And what are we doing?
Okay, well, we need transparency, because these are questions that are out there that we have no idea where the truth lies and where it's rumor or whatever. But these are serious questions that affect our daily livelihood. So transparent, right? Say, we're going to do this. Where's the minutes that should be sitting up there that we can pick up? And we wouldn't have anything to play about. However, it doesn't mean that when you're doing something that we have to totally agree with. We're human. We're all going to have a different opinion on this. And whether or not we have the right to say, I don't agree with you because, or I agree with you because. So that's where it lies, and it isn't final per se. It's giving your opinion to what you think is right for the tribe, or what you think was wrong for the tribe, and state your opinion. And we have every right to do that.
I want to ask one question. In this hearing here, am I allowed an attorney?
Yeah.
Yeah.
May I make a comment? The 597 is the Procedure Act. You guys already determined that it was a personnel issue. This issue does affect everyone because it involves self-determination. I don't know who's all familiar with the Self-Determination Act, but in general sense, it's that under our APAs, we're to follow what we say we're going to do. We follow that. Federal government has no oversight. We're our own oversight. The dog came along. We don't know what this animal is. And I tell you what, he's not friendly to them. Minorities, Jews. No, they're not looking out for their interests. We should understand that. And all we're asking is a request for an investigation, whether or not our government is staying in their own lanes. That's all it is.
So, August 11th. Well, I guess, we have a little bit of work to do on this resolution, so. We'll call a special to schedule.
Is that a regular scheduled meeting? 11, or is it? Before this?
So we could just, go over the schedule, everybody's schedules, and then call a special. bring the resolution back and schedule evidentiary.
All the things they're talking about, this, court investigation, whatever. There's the thing that the drug court is going through. And the drug court, the lawyers, and all that stuff, they have to go through a lot of things, paperwork. And a couple of times I went to court, worked with the lawyers in the reservation. Hey, it's just like a kangaroo court to me. When you pay a lawyer to do your stuff for you, and in a couple of court, you go in a couple of court to listen to both sides. So just like here, you listen to the people. In court, you listen to both parties. So you gotta find out how the complaints or whatever, the judge said something, there's both sides of the story. But anyway, those kind of getting back at, I went to court 2 times, and they dismissed my court, because it was personal, the other one was, kind of there. I spent a lot of money on court fees, lawyers. I didn't get no work down at the court. Because they said that the judge said that was too personal. They were my relative. So how can we carry that system down there at the courts, at the judge in court? My issue was thrown out 3 times. I can't get nowhere. I could go further. Above the council, the BIA, and I have to go to every office. And this guy here, how our court system is and our BIA. But that's why you guys, I'm not trying to put down the BIA, the court, or you guys. What did I say to you guys last time? You guys work with us. We put you guys here. And all these things. When you guys want help from us, or from me, whatever. Melissa knows. She told me all the stuff. It's like I was in Billings. It's like this is I told my wife. I got a call. One at the council. I put down everything and I told my wife I was going to do things for the drug council right now. I'll go down and come back up. I did it for you guys, did it for the people, so they can move forward. That's what I did. I didn't hesitate. I didn't say, well, I just want to say, I just want to get what I can do. That's what I didn't want to hear of nobody. I didn't talk about nobody. I didn't say anything. So I did it. So that's why I said, when you guys actually trying to work together. It's simple. I know it's a lot of paperwork, a lot of things you have to go through, a lot of steps. But I just wanted to tell you guys that you guys put this work together, get these solved and whatever.
I want to
I
ask
think
something.
we need some time frames, because mine has been sitting here far too long, and I don't know if the council has any, thing for what they go by, how long it takes for you to respond to the complaints, or, whatever goes before you. It seems like you should, because I haven't ever read anything where you guys have time frames. That needs to be a big thing, you know, set your time frames. Whatever it is that you need to resolve, develop it so that you can respond to people. You know, things have been sitting here far too long, there's a lot of problems out there, the same as mine, and no one's ever answered to them. And so they end up on the street, and then what do you guys say? Oh, look, they're back on the street. Oh, well, look at that one, they got that. Well, done. Yeah, you can try all you want, but you can't get anywhere. I've been unemployed for a very long time. In my house, yeah, I've been homeless a lot longer than I've been unemployed. And those are things that I pay for, I work for. And yeah, someday I'd like to see my benefits get paid out to me. And if that were you guys, what would you say? Boy, you make a big old stir, why you gotta do this, that? And then you would get what you want. But what about the people that you serve? That you're supposed to protect? There's nothing there. You don't really give any solutions. You're lucky if you can. But you don't have a standard process that you guys follow, and you need to develop those. Those need to be developed so we can have answers. So we can get on with our lives.
And I know that we did address your situation.
No, you haven't.
With the board.
I'm still homeless.
Well, we went to the board. We asked questions at the board level because it's with the housing authority.
Yeah.
And what housing tells us and what their lawyer tells us is that it's been settled.
No,
That
it
makes
hasn't. We're
That
still homeless.
your home.
How would you feel if that house out there has been condemned and my daughter is living in there? How would you like it if you put your kids in a condemned unit? Where else are they supposed to go? You look around, how many people are homeless? There are so damn many people homeless out there. And then in this situation that I'm in, I'm not the only one. There's a lot of people that were in that same situation and they never received a response. They never got their housing. They never got their employment resolved. Nothing. And at what point are you going to hold those programs accountable? Right. There's no accountability. You don't see anything. So I'm still here today with nothing. I work for them. I paid for it. And if that were you guys, you would be in the same thing. You'd be in the same boat. You would, yeah, be upset, be mad. We can't even come to the council for a solution. Why? I come here every single new administration. I go to the administration, go see the vice president. He's the one that deals with programs. He doesn't. He won't do it. Why? He sends me back to the council. And here I am again. How many years later?
Tony, last one, let's get over the long agenda left. Go ahead, Tony. Councilwoman, I come to you guys as a society, those on your headsman. I have served our government in the past when our tribal presidents and vice president tried to take our code. And we saw that. Went house to house, got around the vote, and we overturned that. Come to you not as anything as a soldier, out soldier. My life is your hands, the kids, the elders, the women. That's what my job, my sacred duty from where we come there 3 times. One more time, going to so look at all this. Now look at our ancestors. What they do. We had rough. They were killing us back then.
Now, right now, we're in a position that bad things are coming. Or you guys don't have a job anymore. Because you guys are here for people. Money's coming in, and soon that's going to be gone. So the voices that you have now might not mean nothing if you don't have anything to, part of the government. Our government is gone. I have had to come here as a society member to help presidents and a vice president with their fighters. You come here, you're told to work together. If you can't work together, or there's a door. We voted you in, we voted you guys all out. I'm not saying that to you guys, but that's what happened in the past. I'm just here to tell you guys, as a society man, what's coming. If we can't work together, I don't care my grandkids, we all have grandkids, children. You guys gonna be there for them, or you guys gonna be doing the same thing here? Because when it comes down to that point, societies are to respect him, because it's an emergency, it's a disaster that's coming. We have to look for it. How to feed our people, how to protect our people from the drugs that are going to be coming in more. Because now they think we're weak, but we're not. If we all stick together, that's the only way we're going to survive. That's the only way our people, our ancestors survive, is to be one mind. If we can't do that anymore, then we're going to have to say, hey, Asian, put it down. Or we're just going to let it go. Push hands. We don't do that. We fight the last person. I'm just here to say, whatever happens here, my job is to protect everybody here. I'm going to. Like I did last time. Buffaloes came. Sunshines. Rapids. We had to get them out, and we did. Then the Mexicans came. Top of the divide. Took our woman boats. And made them south. If we keep doing that, the scientists got together and sent me to go after it. Because what I said, that was my duty. I'm still doing it. I'm not perfect. Alcoholic, drug addict, but you women folks ask me to get back up, no matter what happens here. The scientists will always be looking out for everybody and protecting our people, making sure you guys are not embezzling. Make sure you guys are not being mean to each other. You guys are adults now. I'm not here to get down on everybody. I'm just telling you guys, the scientists, Mahias, we're here, Fairview, we're still powerful people, medicine women. I'm here just to say, hey, can we all, a lot of bad things coming, we gotta watch out for everybody. We can't just watch out for our families. And your site to watch everybody that lives here. Cheyenne is that new what's the name? Our people. Our language is going. Government's going to come over here and say, hey, are you Cheyenne? Say something, Cheyenne. If you can't, that's the only thing that's keeping the Cheyenne people in our trees. Is our language, our culture. When that goes, we don't Cheyenne anymore. We're going to be something else. But I'm here because I'm worried. Because each one of us has a duty. Like you guys are voted here to do what, to interpret the law from our outside, from the state and the federal. You guys interpret this. For us, because I don't understand. What I understand is how to protect our people, whatever way I can. Within my service, my soldier, that's what I'm here for. For all you guys. So please, ask in a good way, help our people. I hope next time, we have some kind of, like, evidentiary on how to be run.
Yeah.
Judge.
Yeah, so, that's why I said we'll clean it up. And, cause this one was this a template, but it says removal, and so I don't wanna pass anything and then miss something in it, so what my suggestion is, we just clean it up. And it does have the time frames in there and stuff, so, we could just clean it up and then call special, approve it, and then we can set the date.
So you're saying you're taking removal out of the language?
And on this template, yeah, because it says, this one is a template for removal, but it's not a removal hearing, it's a evidence hearing, so it gives them both sides to state their case.
But is the outcome a removal, or is it a solution for the family that is here? I don't have.
Well, we don't know that yet, we haven't even heard it, so it's not even been told, I mean, like what's gonna happen.
Okay, if we're gonna play a guessing game here, I'm not gonna be disrespectful to the family over there. Yeah, that might be affecting them, whatever this special session was. And it's like we're trying to figure out what this is all about, kind of, and I guess the evidentiary is here, that at that point, what the parties are gonna say, and then.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be open to the public, so they can go present their.
Is it possible to put it out there where we can download it off our tribal website, the process of this hearing, what the steps are? Because
Yeah.
I'm not aware, and I think we all need to be educated on these constitutional courts. I think it's best that the council go back over the updated, most recent revised constitution so that everyone's on the same foot. When we come back to the evidentiary, we listen and we understand that what the solution the plaintiffs are asking for, it was just what you guys decided for it. Because apparently somebody has come here and they want a solution to a problem.
So your question is it's not a constitutional court. What we deal with is the Constitution. The constitutional court exists, so there's an avenue in, like, for instance, a removal of a judge. That's what it's for, so they can go outside of our regular court and take it to that level. That's where election disputes are held, is that like the upper level of our court system.
Okay, you think you
So
should get
this-
that posted so we can download it, so what we know, what the process is, we could actually follow it on a couple pieces of paper, a flow chart or something.
I can get you one of these.
Yeah, it just could be available to all of us, so this is a tribal thing, it isn't just us in this room here. It's all people out there that are working, as people in the other communities that can't be here today. It's for the people that don't have cell phones that can watch your YouTube channel, so that we all understand this, because it needs to be an understanding. This could happen again down the road. We don't know. And if we understand that there's already something out there and we'll follow it, this is how it's followed, we all have the understanding, we have the documentation, this is the process, this is the procedure, and these could be the outcomes. That's all I'm saying, it's just for progress for what we do. Rather than wait another time when this comes and then it's all chaos again and arguing and rumors and whatnot. We don't need that. Like people said here today, we have a lot coming at us, we're gonna lose a lot. There's a lot of money coming to us. And I know you guys are working on programs, because she just said that. You guys are looking after the healthcare. You're looking at the people, Leah is a big one that I comes to mind for me. That's because people that depend on heating this winter are not gonna be able to go to the attic. You don't have money for that. Right now, it's summertime, this is the time to be gathering wood for our elders, people that burn wood for heating. Because they're not gonna have, you're not gonna be able to gather wood and say, I need some propane or some gas to improve the electric bill. That's not available anymore. Those are the things we need to focus on as a group. That's my concern for the others. There's a support system that needs to be, there's a lot of things here. What the family came for, the other people, the rest of the solutions that we find for them, it's a learning lesson for all of us.
And this is where we,
Any time frames, and you don't have a setup, you need to set up for each, whatever.
Well, it's all new, right? We're doing it here, kind of. Like saying that the timeline, the date, that's the beginning, right? Or have you had constitutional court before? Have we been in this?
we're not going to constitutional court, I don't know why you keep saying that.
Okay, well, I'm sorry, but I thought there were three of them. You had mentioned something evidentiary, and the other two would go to constitutional court. That's why I'm asking.
We have a request, we had a request come in, that's why we went into executive session, so President Small, if you will, we will, work on a resolution and then request a special to, and we'll present it to you and then request a special to
For
you.
this board number 3.
Yeah, so if we could move forward with the rest of the agenda today, that would be great.
I just have that resolution, you guys get to read that, I'll give it that, and I'll ask to the court for the you know, where,
I don't, we don't have the authority over the court. No. So we'll give you a copy of the hearing thing, but it will just, it won't be,
So, all the resolution will say that there will be
Yeah, I don't know if it's ever happened. It's separation of powers, isn't it? But there's been constitutional violations that were put to the wayside. I don't know if I've ever seen or heard of one.
Whatever these legislative and agree with them guys, right now, there are issues here. That's a review hearing, and then the evidentiary hearing, and then you go to the. And it can't be the same people that decide because it's being biased. Every step of the way, there has to be a decision makers.
should be the council. That's the council, and the place for that, so.
Yeah, let's move on to item 4, budget.
When you go to the board, they want council.
Thank you, Don.
Good afternoon. Today I have 2 resolutions. I will read the first one. This one is for revisions in FY '25. A resolution of the Northern Cheyenne Tribal Council authorizing the modification and/or adoption of certain budgets for the expenditure of available funds. Therefore, it be resolved that the Northern Cheyenne Tribal Council hereby authorizes the following budgets to be enacted or modified and approves the contemplated expenditures contained in the presented budgets, subject to the listed conditions, restrictions, or constraints. Fund 267, the Housing Improvement Program, $292,470.75 is the amount. Fund 220, Housing Improvement Program, amount $745,879.62. Fund 813, Northern Cheyenne Prosecution, $773,730. Fund 870, NC Trouble Forestry, $573,499. Fund 945, Human Services, $50,000. Fund 716, Human Services, $99,774. Fund 621, Human Services, $8,092. Fund 820, Human Services, $20,000. Fund 268, TIPO, $37,514.01. Fund 264, TIPO, $84,721. Fund 197, TIPO, $683,184.96. Fund 839, TIPO, $123,678. Fund 922, TIPO, $5,870. Fund 855, Northern Cheyenne Department of Transportation, $4,745,106.30. Fund 595F, Northern Cheyenne Department of Transportation, $300,000, Fund 699B, Northern Cheyenne Department of Transportation, $42,857.14. Fund 794, Johnson O'Malley, $109,790. 794, Johnson O'Malley, $108,619. Fund 794, Johnson O'Malley, $101,639. Fund 814, Job Placement and Training, $144,744. Fund 823, Higher Education, $649,499. Fund 823, Higher Education, $651,850.
I'll make that motion to approve.
Motion by Melissa Fisher to authorize the modification and/or adoption of certain budgets for the expenditure of available funds fiscal year 25, Fund 267 through 823. Second by Melissa Lombard. Melissa Lombard? Yes. Howard Altamirals?
Yes.
Stephen Reininger?
Yes.
Eva Foote? Tori Davy? Donovan Lumberhand?
Yes.
Teresa Small? Gwen Spotted Horse? Melissa Fisher?
Yes.
8 yes, motion carried.
Next, I have a resolution draft for programs projected FY26 budgets. A resolution of the Northern Cheyenne Tribal Council authorizing the modification and/or adoption of certain budgets for the expenditure of available funds. Therefore, be resolved that the Northern Cheyenne Tribal Council hereby authorizes the following budgets to be enacted or modified and approves the contemplated expenditures contained in the presented budgets, subject to listed conditions, restrictions, or constraints. Fund 696, Rosebud Lodge Emergency Shelter, $290,316.49. 704 USDA pass-through, 77,794. 818 ICWA, 79,929. 267 Housing Improvement Program, 292,470 and 75 cents. Fund 220 Housing Improvement Program, 745,879 and 62 cents. New fund Child Care Discretionary, 14,243. New fund Child Care Mandatory, 3,125. Fund 314 Elderly Program, 16,886. 328 Elderly Program, 489,379 and 52 cents.
What the last time, 328?
328 Elderly Program. Fund 823 Higher Education, 567, 442,075 cents. Fund 794 Johnson O'Malley, 95,597 and 62 cents. Fund 814 Job Placement and Training, 146,224 and 84 cents. Fund 595, Northern Cheyenne Department of Transportation, 658,795 and 56 cents. Fund 699, Northern Cheyenne Department of Transportation, 301,087 and 36 cents. Fund 855, Northern Cheyenne Department of Transportation, 4,745,106 and 30 cents. Fund 245, Northern Cheyenne Prosecution, 933,546 and 49 cents. Fund 234, Northern Cheyenne Tribal Prosecution, 907,932. Fund 663, Northern Cheyenne Prosecution, 1,141,61 and 37 cents. Fund 712, Emergency 911, 512,443 and 39 cents. Fund 859, NCIS Equipment 2, 118,864. Fund 845, NCIS Equipment 1, 135,272. Fund 825, NCIS, 449,992. Fund 615, Thibault, 8,600. Fund 837, Thibault, 140, 628. Fund 197, Thibault, 590,000. New fund Thibault, 123,678. 280 Thibault, 55,588 and 9 cents. Fund 643 Thibault, 29,590. Fund 667 Thibault, 10,000. Fund 789 Thibault, 5,076. Fund 510 Thibault, 11,821 and 51 cents. Fund 268, 37,514 and 1 cent. That's also Thibault. Fund 264 Thibault, 84,721.
I'll make that motion to approve.
Motion by Melissa Fisher to authorize the modification and/or adoption of such budgets for the expenditure of available funds, fiscal year 26, Fund 696 through 264, second by Melissa Lombard. Melissa Lombard? Yes. Howard Montaveros?
Yes.
Stephen Raineyberg?
Yes.
Eva Foote? Tori Davy? Donovan Lumberhand?
Yes.
Teresa Small? Gwen Spotted Horse? Yes. Melissa Fisher?
Yes.
8 yes, motion carried.
Thank you.
Roman number 5.
Yes. Make a motion to approve the resolution of the Northern Cheyenne Tribal Council approving and granting the request for Northern Cheyenne membership through automatic enrollment on 2 individuals. That's my motion. And I make a motion.
Motion by Melissa Fisher to approve and grant automatic enrollment of 2 individuals, second by Donovan Lumberhand. Melissa Lombard? Yes. Howard Montaveros? Yes. Stephen Raineyberg?
Yes.
Eva Foote?
Yes.
Tori Davy? Donovan Lumberhand?
Yes.
Teresa Small? Gwen Spotted Horse? Melissa Fisher?
Yes.
8 yes, motion carried.
Make a motion to approve an ordinance of the Northern Cheyenne Tribal Council approving and granting the request for Northern Cheyenne membership through adoption for 24 individuals. That is my motion.
Motion by Melissa Fisher to approve and grant membership through adoption of 24 individuals, second by Howard Montaveros. Melissa Lombard?
Yes.
Howard Montaveros? Stephen Raineyberg?
Yes.
Eva Foote? Tori Davy? Donovan Lumberhand?
Yes.
Teresa Small?
Yes.
Gwen Spotted Horse? Yes. Melissa Fisher?
Yes.
8 yes, motion carried.
A resolution of the Northern Cheyenne Tribal Council approving and granting the name changes of 11 individuals. That is my motion.
Motion by Melissa Fisher to approve and grant name changes for 11 members, second by Howard Montaveros. Melissa Lombard?
Yes.
Howard Montaveros? Stephen Raineyberg?
Yes.
Eva Foote? Donovan Lumberhand?
Yes.
Teresa Small? Gwen Spotted Horse? Melissa Fisher?
Yes.
8 yes, motion carried.
A resolution of the Northern Cheyenne Tribal Council approving and granting blood quantum change for 1 individual. That is my motion.
Motion by Melissa Fisher to approve and grant blood quantum changes for 1 tribal member, second by Howard Montaveros. Melissa Lombard? Yes. Howard Montaveros? Stephen Raineyberg?
Yes.
Eva Foote? Donovan Lumberhand?
Yes.
Teresa Small? Gwen Spotted Horse? Melissa Fisher?
Yes.
8 yes, motion carried.
Having 6 minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve May 7th, 2025 minutes.
Motion by Melissa Fisher to approve minutes from May 7th, 2025 regular session, second by Melissa Lombard. Melissa Lombard? Yes. Howard Montaveros? Stephen Raineyberg?
Yes.
Eva Foote? Donovan Lumberhand?
Yes.
Teresa Small? Gwen Spotted Horse? Yes. Melissa Fisher?
Yes.
7 yes, 1 abstain, motion carried.
That was May 7th. One correction on the page 11. Second to the last paragraph is too many letters and resolve.
Too many letters in what?
Resolve. Oh, it's all on the same page. Yeah, the second to the last paragraph says now therefore be resolved.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve May 16th, 2025 minutes.
I'll second.
Motion by Melissa Fisher to approve minutes from May 16th, 2025 special session, second by Melissa Lombard. Melissa Lombard?
Yes.
Howard Montaveros? Stephen Raineyberg?
Yes.
Eva Foote? Donovan Lumberhand?
Abstain.
Teresa Small? Yes. Gwen Spotted Horse? Melissa Fisher?
Yes.
7 yes, 1 abstain, motion carried.
I'll make a motion to approve May 21st, 2025 minutes.
Motion by Melissa Fisher to approve minutes from May 21st, 2025, regular session, second by Howard Montaveros. Melissa Lombard?
Yes.
Howard Montaveros? Stefan Raineyberg? Eva Foote? Donovan Abraham?
Yes.
Teresa Small?
Yes.
Gwen Spotted? Yes. Melissa Fisher?
Yes.
7 yes, 1 abstain, motion carried.
Make a motion to approve June 2nd, 2025.
Motion by Melissa Fisher to approve minutes from June 2nd, 2025, regular session, second by Melissa Lombard. Melissa Lombard?
Yes.
Howard Montaveros? Stefan Raineyberg? Eva Foote?
Yes.
Donovan Abraham?
Yes.
Teresa Small?
Yes.
Gwen Spotted? Yes. Melissa Fisher?
Yes.
8 yes, motion carried.
Eric?
Yep.
Number 7, postal district membership. Eric. Is this just informational or?
It's
Just informational, Eric? Just informational? And what? Let it to the point. Short one. Short one.
Hello?
So we're waiting after these minutes. After you approve the minutes, like you're doing now, how soon can we get copies?
Once we get back to the bureau, we'll sign off on.
Oh, is it zero?
No. Oh, they'll look at the minutes probably today.
Well, I gotta go ahead and put in the vote count.
Oh.
Okay, can you get them back up to the website? Is that where they're gonna be? Oh, okay, so they're doing okay, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Probably about equal to. All right.
Huh? What? Yeah. Tori, there. I lost my mind.
Good afternoon, respected members of this council and administration. I come to you this afternoon. I apologize for how it's marked being full district membership. I would like to start by addressing that some of the members of this or tribal members have moved to the Colstrip area, including myself, due to better education, to avoid violence, drug and alcohol, and because of lack of housing on a reservation, and just in the need of trying to have a better life. I come before this council, this administration today, to request a motion for approval to extend the boundaries of the Northern Cheyenne to the Colstrip area to be at large, to allow tribal road members that live in that community have the ability to run for elected positions on the reservation. At this time, I believe that this is not made available to members that live in the Colstrip area to run for any electoral position, and I request that this council generate an ordinance or resolution or even amend the Constitution to allow members like myself and others to be able to run for electoral positions.
So this would require a constitutional decision, which would have to be, it's a pretty lengthy process. And in fact, the council seats do have to be, in the ordinance, in the Constitution, it says it has to be revisited on presidential election years. But all the years I tried, served as tribal secretary, it was never completed. Because what's required is basically a tribal census, and we've never had the funds to do it ourselves, where you go door to door, where the information is stored here and not shared with the federal government, because when people actually do the census, a lot of people are dishonest about it because it affects their benefits. Like, you're not supposed to live in a home with 12 people, 3 families. So all of that stuff, yeah, I agree, it would be nice to have one, but it does require a
So what would it take? So it would take referendum.
It's a secretary of election.
Can we allow one person to talk, please?
So how a referendum is triggered is by a person will take a petition out. So say you're petitioning for that change in the Constitution. So what you do is you go to each district with that petition, and what you would need is you would need 10% of each district's legal voting body. So everybody over 18 that can vote against China to vote on it. Once you get 10% of every district, that triggers referendum, and then the secretary will take that, will take your petitions. She'll do it, and then she'll do a poll, or I guess it's not an election, it's a poll. And then the whole tribe would vote, and in order for that vote to matter, it would have to be at least 30% of the voting membership
Eligible voters.
of eligible voters.
Well, I have a question to you guys. It is a question I had a while back about people that don't live in here, that don't live in, like, villages. I was told that if I were residing, like, Rosebud, Bayport, what's the other county? Rosebud, okay. That I would have to live in those counties and not be eligible to, I guess, for council. And I said, well, wouldn't you have to live on the reservation lines? And they said, yeah, because I guess, of course, with the whole reservation. And I said, oh, okay, yeah, I wanted to live in the Rhino County, but it's within the reservation line, and I can run for council, and
It's within the exterior boundary.
I think that was a question I just brought up, and that's explaining what he's trying to do.
You want to say that law, so that we can be restricted.
Gene, am I right that at large, on our at-large district, is that what you were trying to say? And if it's a large district, we have 5 districts already, that would make the 6th district. Okay?
No, we're not making it additional.
What do you
It would
make
just be like an act, like a tribal at large.
Take one of the neighbor sheets away or what?
He's asking, what he's asking is for an at-large seat, for a council seat for the tribe.
Which would make,
Okay, well, the Constitution has a number, and it's 10 now, are you adding or
We're
subtracting?
not adding or subtracting anything, we're just letting him know that he has to, the Constitution has to be revised in order to create that.
And in order for the Constitution to be revised to 30% of all, the whole reservation, all 5 districts.
Not just the reservation of the eligible
Voters.
yeah.
the membership in general, not just
To
those.
trigger a referendum, you have to have 10% of each district sign a petition.
It's 10%.
That's for a referendum or not for
That's for referendum, but when it goes on to be voted on, it has to have 30%.
Yeah, 30% of the entire voting membership, yes. So there's another process that we can use to change the Constitution? I thought it had to be referendum vote.
No, it's not.
No, referendum. Well, you can't pass it. You can't pass it.
We can't have them go or sending our reservation on the coast track. That's my.
Well, that can't be done. What we're telling you is that we can't do that. That's the people.
It has to be a constitutional change to that referendum vote. People have to be able to vote on it. Otherwise, you cannot change the Constitution.
Okay, my question is this, he has a reason why he wants to be able to be represented in Colstrip. Maybe we need to hear why you like a district in Colstrip.
Okay, first of all, I'm not asking to be represented in Colstrip. Here's my situation. I'm ready to retire from the current field that I'm in. Now I want to look to a future of working for my tribe. And because I live in Colstrip, I'm ineligible, but I would like to run for a judge, to be judge, or at least run for that position. At this current time, I'm unable to do so because I live in Colstrip. I want to be able to do away with that, to allow me to run for a judge, the opportunity to be just like any other member on the reservation, to be able to run for an electoral position. I'm not asking for anything more or anything else. I'm not asking there to be a council seat added to this council. All I want to do is to be able to change that, amend it somehow, to be able to allow members like myself to be able to run for those positions. my old school don't understand the process to the zone, and I think there's some misinformation that you're saying about, and others that I want a position there. I don't want a position. I just want to be afforded the same opportunity as every other man to run for an electoral position.
I have the same situation myself, but I'm gonna have to move back home, to represent council in 4 years. So my go on that is the same thing. As that, well, I'm a member, and I should be able to go back home and run for office, and if there's something there, then it's a solid thing, I can come back home and be on the council or whatever I said. But I have to go back home, back here, back here, and this, because this is the district that I am from.
My question is this, what district do you vote in?
Up here, right here.
Same with me. Now, I don't agree with that my vote counts during voting, but I'm not allowed to run for any position. I think at large, I believe as if you lived in Billings and you wanted to run for the Bennington district.
I'm not a state, I live in down the court.
Oh.
I'm home and be here for these council meetings, it's on my own thing, okay? But I come here because it's important that we have to exercise those rights as tribal members, that we exercise our rights to come in here and see how it's affecting us as well as affecting us being victims of crime. There's a lot of people that don't come to these meetings, there's a lot of people that are not even communicating with, or really care what's going on, because a lot of our membership is off the reservation. They've never lived here. They got in through descendancy. They've never got struggles and all this stuff, growing up here in poverty and everything like that, and make something of your life. Like I have. But I live down there and then come back here, and this is where I'm going to come home to. This is always been home for me, no matter where I go. But the point is that I understand what you're saying, and for me to be on council in 4 years, I have to go back home about a year before that. And that's what I have to do. That's why I know this high crime here, I know all these things, but there's also been some nice improvements here. It's been a lot better than when it was in my.
A long time ago,
Never changed.
long time ago, these laws, you have to live amongst us to be us. No matter how you ever understand where we come from. Now I understand everything that goes along. That's the greatest thing. Our ancestors already put it in the state to not have any other outside influences coming in. And you have to live in this community. You have to feel the pain, the hurt, the struggle. No, it's not right. If somebody else was to live way over there, look at that, 20 months over there in California. I'm doing okay. What if I want to go and make a decision here? No, it doesn't exist. Whatever I say does not apply because I didn't live here amongst you guys in this time of need, of struggle and pain. So our ancestors had every right to say these things and live by it. Now, Dwayne, understand that. But the fact is that when you get to talk like that, I went back home, then 20 hours, ending back. My wife's up there, fighting her life, dying with it, come on. I didn't ask you guys come to me. But I do understand when you guys are going to waste time for somebody to go past outside there and culture. Not only can you say about that, there ain't no reason for them to be there. Our ancestors made it this way. Now leave it that way. You have to live in this pain, reserve, and sorrow. Don't need to be way over there the other way and marry to another tribe and be that person and come back and think you're part of this world. It doesn't mean that way. Actually, it just doesn't. It's You guys stick by you guys' rules. If you guys some soft ones.
I just wanted to add, some years back, couple to what he's saying, there was a time, Carol Richards was living at Coast Church, she was a judge. And my mom and dad would load up, like, the evenings and go and supper for my parents. She had a lot of things, and so, so I said, how about we talk to the judge, but the judge would talk to the resolution, and I think the society will be some kind of concession for her to do it. And she was able to her, and then they moved her, people there, but that was her Richards, who was the judge.
So what does he have to do? I mean, what is it? Is it a?
It's section 8A of the separation of powers ordinance, and it says that judges must be domiciled during their term. And then 4-year terms. So it'd be a 2-part change, which would take years.
So he still will have to go through the process,
Yeah.
basically.
It says domicile, all trial judges must be domiciled on the reservation throughout the term of office.
That's what we're asking, yes. I remember.
People like you can go to the street, wanting to work for church, have it home.
Yeah, if you decide to go try to do a referendum, there's a few things that a couple of us would like to add to your petition. Just a few things and stuff. Thanks,
Our boundaries, and there was I wanted to use technology.
Roll on. Yeah, we're gonna roll on, listen.
Is Adam here? Adam?
Well, really, as long as you go over there, we need representation on these border towns. I know Johnson Valley was the only one that helped this reservation process, 1945, and it was still out and stuff like that. We need more white people than that. We take more white people, take one that's stable, and we still, people out there, border towns, this is that coast strip, but if we had somebody visit there, and try to be here, say we should close to them, you know? You didn't ask for her. And that, I was sitting with the sheriff. What did our leaders, what did the sheriff say? I thought they were. So now, back and forth.
I'll present, a resolution of the Northern Sand Tribal Council authorizing the tribal presentation on behalf of Northern Sand Tribe documents necessary to advertise and sell the St. John's logging unit on the legal market. Whereas the Northern Sand Tribal Council is empowered under Article 4, Section 1K to protect and preserve the property, wildlife, and natural resources of the tribe, to regulate the conduct of trade and the use of the disposition of property upon the reservation, provided that any ordinance directly affecting non-members of the tribe shall be subject to review by the Secretary of the Interior, and Whereas the Northern Cheyenne Tribe is adopted by resolution number DOI 076-2023, the Northern Cheyenne Reservation Forest Management Plan, FMP, which is valid through 2037, which calls for the selective harvest of old known timber stands. And FMP authorized the St. John's logging unit, which consists of 3,710 total acres, of which 1,974 are timbered. And whereas harvesting the timber requires access across Indian Reservation roads and the Northern Cheyenne Tribal Council support system use, and whereas both an archaeological and cultural survey have been completed, and all sites have been identified and excluded from the logging unit, and therefore be it resolved, the Tribal Council hereby authorizes the Tribal President to execute on behalf of the Tribal Council any documents necessary to advertise and sell the timber in the St. John's logging unit on the open market pursuant to 25 CFR 163 and the Indian Affairs Handbook, harvest of forest products.
I'll make that motion. Second.
Motion by Melissa Lombard to authorize tribal president to execute documents necessary to advertise and sell the St. John's logging unit on the open market, second by Eva Foote. Melissa Lombard? Yes. Howard Montaveros?
Yes.
Stephen Raineyberg?
Yes.
Eva Foote? Corey Davy?
Yes.
Donovan Lumberhand?
Yes.
Teresa Small?
Yes, but I have questions. Do we have timber for the people to walk in?
Yeah, they can make their opinion, the tribal forestry. I think every member is allowed to move on. I don't know what that is, but. Huh?
You want to spot it first?
Yes.
Melissa Fisher?
Yes.
9 yes, motion carried.
Item 10, on the order consultant contract.
A resolution approving the increase of maximum charge in the law article contract, consulting contract. And this is, the tribe has a lawsuit pending with the United States District Court in Billings, Montana against the United States to compel the United States to fulfill its law enforcement obligations and other relief. Whereas the resolution DOI 08324, DOI 19524, the tribe hired consultants to consult to the tribe regarding the lawsuit with by written agreement that limits on the amount that may be changed or fees and expenses. And whereas the consultants have incurred the maximum charge under those agreements, and the tribal council wishes to increase the maximum charge under each agreement by $40,000. Now therefore be it resolved that the Northern Cheyenne Tribal Council hereby authorizes the maximum charge for each consultant agreement to be increased by $40,000. And be it finally resolved that the tribal president is authorized to take any action consistent herewith. That is my motion.
I'll second.
Okay, I have a question on that. You look at your consultant,
There's several.
so which one is this one for, this law firm consultant contract? Is that going to one consultant or all of them?
It varies. It depends on how much they use actually.
Okay, so this is for everything that comes up legally, like a lawsuit that you're talking about. That is contract for that particular case. That-
Yeah, and they're actually, doing it like internal investigations and interviewing people like they're gonna be out soon, or they're gonna do some more interviews and, just trying to get more evidence for our case.
Okay, so this is all going to apply for everything that happens here for our tribe, or this lawsuit that you're talking about, how does that affect us as a whole?
I would say that this money is reimbursing if you win the lawsuit. You know, if we win the lawsuit, I would say this money is reimbursing.
Yeah,
That's
it
part
is.
of the lawsuit.
Everything that's being charged, so like when you file a personal lawsuit, everything that's done comes out of the suit, the payment. So all of this work that's being done, all of the extra witnesses that they're using, every interview that they do, the billing for the time that's put in, all of that is lumped out in the lawsuit, granted, and it's reimbursed.
Okay. That lawsuit
that's the end of it. And whatever money's left over is part of what the contract. Or is there any recovery from that?
What are you asking?
It's the other way, she's, my understanding is that whatever's left over goes to him, but it's the other way, right? Whatever's left over comes to us. Right?
So what we filed the lawsuit for is because we're basically lawless on this reservation. Every reservation is under the same circumstances. But there's hours and testimony and everything that goes into this lawsuit. And we filed, and then there's so many things that are connected to it.
There's a lot, some different issues that are put together and we want to fight this person with a lot of lawlessness and we need some rules and we're fighting this lawsuit like that you're supposed to be. What is the outcome we're trying to get out of this lawsuit? Who are we, first of all, who are we suing?
Here you go, I can.
Yeah,
So the lawsuit is against BIA OJS, for breach of trust. Over the course of the last 7 years, there's been a breach of trust by the Bureau of Indian Affairs, OJS. And it culminated to, the lawlessness that we've come to see as normal. And this was something that was started prior to my being elected. They had already started the process to file the suit. And so it finally came to fruition, and we had to hire expert witnesses to gather evidence. We've had to find precedents by hiring expert witnesses. And there's also other tribes that are this kind of set precedents for them to stand up for themselves. So the outcome of this lawsuit is ultimately, hopefully, the Bureau upholds their obligation to the tribes for what they're here for. They have a responsibility, a trust responsibility to uphold, and they're not. So hopefully, ultimately, the hopes are that they uphold their trust. And if there's any kind of, if they're responsible monetarily or anything like that, then they'll have to pay for damages for their costs, and probably reimburse us for all of our legal fees as well.
Okay, I would go a question on top of that. Is that, we got to get another law consultant to fight this lawsuit against the BIA for the breach of trust. What good is our tribal attorney and the money that we're spending, because we're kind of being done for the same service that should already be provided, right?
No, these guys are expert, witnesses that we're paying for.
Yeah, these are for expert witnesses.
They're not, it's not, our attorney helped us find these guys and they're expert witnesses, and that's why we're using them, because they're experts at what they do.
So they're not lawyers.
No, one is actually a law professor.
The other one's a
And
former police chief.
formerly ex-police chief.
Consultant.
Yeah.
Okay.
Excuse me, does the BIA recognize NCIS as a legitimate organization?
There are 638 contracted investigative services.
Would you ask?
Does,
I sure hope so.
are they operating under the onus of the tribe? Any investigation, they go into somebody's houses, they kick the door down, they show their badges, are they doing that for the tribe's benefit?
Well, what I know about GIS, they're not an initial attack, you know what I mean? They're investigating after the fact of what's happened, they come in and do the investigation.
I've had several reports from people saying that they went to their house, they were doing nothing wrong, told them that they were doing that lady is pregnant, and that they needed information from her. And they said, well, who are you? They covered their badges, took them off. I told that lady to write a statement up, get their badges, and if you can, get their vehicle. And he said, how do they know that I'm criminal? And she asked me, I said, I don't know. Do they have access to information? Yeah, they have access to our databases here. And if the PA doesn't recognize them, does our definition as a tribe cover that? So any lawsuits against them, are they gonna answer us by saying you guys are pretty much vigilantes on the tribes on regulation? Does 638 cover us from being vigilantes and doing unauthorized seizures?
If that's happening, give a statement for us.
Yes, please, by all means. Have them provide statements, and that needs to be that can't be happening.
I'd like to ask a question too, make a statement. Busby seems to be really overrun with violence and whatnot. However, same thing that they're doing, they go and hit a personal house. But when a Cheyenne gets killed by a gang or whatever they are, or by individuals, and I'm not using the gang, gangster type thing, it's a group going and beating on people. Is that part of it in this contract? Is it part of the suit here, where they're not doing their jobs? Yes, it's still occurring, and it's occurring worse and worse. If we had, law and order, and we're suing them because they're not carrying out their duties, seems to me they're just making it worse. Is there any way you can remedy and put that in this suit?
So this ongoing suit, so I guess they take some stats, the monthly stats, they're still taking it to show that, you know what I mean?
They're
not doing their job, so we take them stats, we get them, it's every other Tuesday we meet with them. And they bring them stats in, we go over them, and I send them, I forward them on.
What good is it if they're injuring people for life or killing them?
And
Stats don't need jack.
right, and so every single time an incident happens like that, or, there have been several incidents that have taken place over the course of the last 6 months. Every single time that happens, it's brought to the attention to legal, and they add it to the case. I mean, I'm telling you guys, the case is, there's probably a stack this high of incident reports that have taken place over the course of the past 7 years.
Okay,
And they are dragging it out. They're dragging it out, and they're making sure that we have to exhaust every single resource we can possibly exhaust. They're making the process long, and yes, it is causing lawlessness for a longer period of time.
number one. Number two, after everything is said and done, and you receive money off of this court case, is it going into tribal hands, or is it going into the hands of people that have been killed and injured, whatnot? What are you going to do with the excess money?
It goes to running the programs that we 638 to do them. The individual families are entitled to filing a court claim if it's something with the law enforcement, then they can file the tort claim.
Seems to me they should be part of it, because you know as well as I do that this is a very poor community. And a lot of them are not educated in the various steps of law and order. As a matter of fact, on the outside, the courts, they say if you cannot afford a lawyer, one will be furnished to you. Here, you have to be relatively rich in order to get a lawyer to hear your case.
And I know that there's been numerous times where the court is working on trying to get some public defenders, some funding for public defenders. So it is in process.
So when the Bureau of Indian Affairs, Office of Justice Services is found guilty or found to be at fault in this suit, that's going to provide every single person who was affected by the, you know, I mean, like, so say, let's use the Cobell case, for instance, okay, as an example. Eloise Cobell went to the, I don't know if it was the Supreme Court or whatever, what court she went to, but she went to the court and
Supreme.
it was and claimed that there was a violation made, okay? So when it was found that there was a violation made, then there were all kinds of law groups and firms that went out there and said, we'll represent you. If you were affected by this, we'll represent you. So that's what it'll do. What this is going to do, what this BIA-OJS breach of trust thing is going to do is when they're found that they were in breach of trust, that's gonna give everybody the evidence they need to be able to go forward with tort claims, with lawsuits, individual lawsuits. It's gonna help them find, I mean, there's gonna be people that are gonna be out that'll say that they'll take on, you know, a whole herd of cases, you know, just, and then, so that's what it's gonna do. It's gonna give them the grounds they need to be able to do what they need, to hold them responsible for what they've done.
Okay, well, and this is an idea, I'm gonna address your comments here. This is the idea of trying to include all the victims, include all the people, not just numbers, and say there was this many races, this many breakers, there was this many, you know.
Well, it has been included.
So they have statistics, but I think you need to attach all to them so that it gives them the firm ground to go and file under this case. Because you don't have lawyers here that, what?
Every single case, every single individual case has been taken to legal, to be added to that case.
Okay, and the motion has to be strong enough that it's not going to be torn apart by some government attorney that says, well, your lawyer didn't mean this, or this is what it means, and then everything goes away. You get your little state, and everyone else is still affected. And I would say all families that have lost their family members, there's really no price on that, you can't bring anybody back. But the liability of property damage, of arson fires for these houses.
The
But
case,
people
just
that are
like,
incarcerated,
Right.
those are all the things that this lawsuit has to be a part of that, so that it prevents this.
and we encourage everyone, if you have a case or a complaint that you file, you can probably, I'm sure you can come to council. We welcome, anything we can add to that case with open arms.
President Trump, we have a motion and a second.
Motion by Melissa Fisher to approve increase of maximum charge in law order consultant contracts, second by Melissa Lombard. Howard Monroe.
Yes.
Stephen Raineyberg.
Yes.
Eva Foote. Corey Davy.
Yes.
Donovan Abraham.
Yes.
Teresa Small.
Yes.
Gwen Spotted Horse. Melissa Fisher.
Yes.
8 yes, motion carried.
Okay, item 10, USD Broadband Business Grant Funds.
A resolution accepting the USDA Broadband Business Grant Funds and contracting to assist with the purpose of the grant. We'll go to the board asked to conduct the feasibility study. The tribe has identified Palm Meadow Engineering Corporation and Aldrich CPA plus advisory to assist, both of which have been hired by the tribe previously for the Northern Cheyenne Development Corporation and the broadband related services. Whereas the tribal council recognizes that because of the specialized nature of the unique professional services provided by Palm Meadow and Aldrich and their familiarities with the tribe, its broadband initiative, and a desire to improve broadband on the reservation as soon as possible, it is the tribe's best interest to deviate from the regular procurement process under section 1A3 of the procurement purchasing manual and hire a consultant now. Therefore be it resolved that the tribe hereby accepts the above award and authorizes the drawdown of the above described grant. Therefore, be it further resolved that the tribal council hereby deviates from the regular procurement process to authorize the contract with Palm Meadow and/or Aldrich to complete the feasibility study. That is my motion. Oh, be it finally resolved that the tribal president and treasurer and their staff are directed to authorize and take all action to execute any documents and take any other action to carry out this resolution. That is my motion. Second by Howard.
Motion by Melissa Fisher to accept USDA broadband business grant funds and contracting to assist with the purpose of the grant, second by Stephen Reininger. Melissa Longer, Howard Montaveros. Stephen Reininger. Eva Foote. Corey Davy.
Yes.
Donovan Abraham.
Yes.
Teresa Small. Gwen Spotted. Melissa Fisher.
Yes.
9 yes, motion carried.
Item 11, Northern Cheyenne Board of Health Commissioners. Okay, Board.
Good afternoon, President Small, Tribal Council members. It is an honor to be here before you today. I am the chairperson of the Board of Health, and the board started in January of this year. One of the things that we looked at as a board was our board pay, and we had our lawyer, Lindsay Moss, research the resolutions that pertain to payment for the Board of Health. And part of the packet that you have here, we have action that the board took as a full board, asking for the payment for board fees to be $200 per meeting. Following that is a list of the meetings that we've had through mid-June this year. You'll probably notice that we have spent a lot of time in meetings. We have met regularly, we've had special meetings to get up to date on schedule with what our obligations are and responsibilities to oversee contracts and grants. Following that is a resolution that our lawyer put together, and in there, it's for 2025, it doesn't have a number in here, it basically says that the Board of Health Commissioners would receive $200 per regular meeting, special meeting. Now, we don't get paid when we go to conferences or other meetings. We have other meetings that we attend as a board, meeting with council, meeting with different groups that they come here, and we don't get paid for those. Those are just on our own time. Part of the reason we asked for more was just the economics of traveling. Only we have one representative who is from the Ranger district. Our meetings are held here in Ranger. All the rest of the members don't travel to Ranger to attend the meeting. And for time, several of our members work, they have to take time off from their work to participate in meetings. So as a board, we felt that that was a fair amount for the board members to come and do what we need to do as a board. So that is all that I'm presenting today, is asking. We did include in this packet some previous resolutions and ordinances that have been approved by the board. Our lawyer did research quite a bit. And so those, in this resolution, we identified some of the past ordinances and so on that pertain to. And this is really to update and make sure that we're on board with our pay and that it's approved and is part of our contracts. The resolution that we presented is like the fifth page.
Yeah, we got a copy in the back here. But, I have a question. So, there was a lot of, layoffs and downsizing your administration, on your administration budget. So why would we approve, my thought is, why would we approve more work pay if there were employees that got laid off?
Yeah, the whole issue of layoffs and pay was certainly a difficult one for the board to go through. It depended on each individual contract, and the budgeting process allowed us to, the previous budgets that were submitted, money was taken for positions through contract, and then monies were used for carryover funds. And since our carryover funds were depleted, we had to go back to the basic contract. Now, I guess it's difficult to, compare the board members to employees and that sort of thing. But, the board has been working really, really hard trying to get everything organized and move forward. And I know that people requested to be on the board. And I know there's a certain amount of public service with it. And we do participate in everything that we're asked to participate in, and we don't get paid for much of it. I do a lot of work for the Board of Health outside of just the regular meetings, getting things organized and so on. So I guess it really varies. I can't really answer to, how people necessarily feel about it. I think that we have to have people on the board meeting regularly to basically deal with the health issues.
But once you raise, President Small, once you raise, this passes today, and that's gonna set precedents in all the other board people.
What is that, how old is that resolution that's in place now for board pay, I mean, I think there's a set resolution across the board, all boards get, whatever that rate is.
I guess the board's position really was, we do oversee a lot of programs. It's not just one or two or three. We have a lot of programs. We oversee contracts and grants, our revenue programs. So it's not, I'm not familiar with the other boards to know what their responsibilities are and how often they meet. What they take care of as a board, but I'm only familiar with the Board of Health.
I think it should stay the same.
I know it's been a lot of work for these guys, they just went to, Fort Vector at Dallas, and they're coming up with a plan on that, moving on that. Maybe we need to look at the pay raise across the board, I don't know how old that resolution is, $35.
But I can do it as a program too, so and that was my opinion as far as this goes too, because, I don't feel that the board has a clear understanding of where they're at financially, but if you sit down to your accountant, the board needs to visit with the accountant as well. And I just know that I went to one of the board meetings in the very beginning and explain how much work, especially for the health sector, one of our most important programs, and how much work that is required, is required for this. But I agree with what was said as far as increasing the work rate, because there was 13 families that are without income. Like right now, some of the child patients or social security patients are paying for their own consultations. They can't work it out or clinic.
prevail.
Understanding that, but at the same time, those positions should have
Well,
been.
how is it gonna look if we give the board a raise and then we sat in a meeting and
It
listen
doesn't-
to them, how they feel on? It doesn't make sense.
In their defense, the workload of the Board of Health it's like comparing apples and oranges to the other boards. You have the land board, they do the land board stuff. You have the tarot board, they only deal with the tarot board stuff. You have all these boards, it's all individualized, and they only have to take care of one program. Where these guys are overseeing T-HIT, they're overseeing, like she has said, they're overseeing several programs, recovery, ambulance service, all that stuff. So, I can understand where they're coming from, because the weight they carry is much more than any of the other boards, and to have them have the same amount that all the other boards have, the other boards are only taking care of one specific program, where these guys are taking care of several programs under one umbrella. So maybe we should make individual boards for each branch of tribal health if it's too much to pay this one board who oversees the whole entire organization.
Kind of appropriate them.
Yeah, I mean, just something to where they're, so, or, I believe that, I understand what you're saying. Their workload is immense. It's much larger than anybody else, any other programs board.
That board page.
How many board members are there?
Right?
There's 5 board members, one from each district. And the community.
It's not much money, but you need to offset traveling expenses for you and your group.
We don't have a travel expense budget, we don't travel. We went to Poplar the other day, and our tribal council representative from Lanier, Teresa Small, is the one that basically funded that trip. We did not get reimbursed or receive any travel funds. We don't have a travel budget, so we don't travel.
I think that they should pay them what they're asking, because like Tori said, they have more than just one board. They oversee more than just one board.
So, you guys don't have, you guys don't get travel reimbursements?
No, we don't have any money.
That's not the equate, you're just saying from one word to the next.
What is the current, what is the current?
75.
We didn't use it all.
Why don't we compromise in the middle, because this is the beginning right now of what we're talking about with cutting programs. There's gonna be more coming up, with these kind of decisions you're gonna have to make.
So, I got a question, guys, when we were the ad hoc board, prior to the president being elected and him giving the board back to people, the tribal council was the ad hoc board of, I don't even like saying ad hoc, because ad hoc is, that term is loosely used here, it's not the correct term. It was reassumed by the tribal council, or assumed by the tribal council, the board of health. And when we would travel, it didn't come out of my travel PR, it came out of tribal health's travel, correct? When we would travel to A&A negotiations or,
Travel was in the carryover.
it was out of carrier.
It's fine.
Came out of period.
Okay. And there's no carryover left, so
So we don't travel.
we don't travel.
Okay, then, I think there should be an assessment done before, because once we start changing your board days, then everybody, all the other boards that get paid are gonna come back. So, do an assessment and see.
Can I ask you a question? If you are under 7 different programs, does that mean that when you go to see say the ambulance service. You go and have a meeting over there, and then you have one totality of commissioner, which would include what happened there. So do you have to go to a lot of mini, meetings before you actually go to your commissioner meeting?
No, they are, the programs report to us on a quarterly basis. And so they're scheduled in on a regular meeting, and each program has to submit a written report and a verbal report to us. So each program comes in, and it takes about a good day to do everybody's. And so, and then at the end of the year, they require to do an annual report, which is much lengthier and much more involved. We now require our programs to not only give us information about what they do in their work, but where they stand with their budgets. And that's the part of the review that we do all the time. And so right now, we're ending the third quarter, so we will be meeting with them, but we meet individually with each program during a regular meeting.
Okay, well, I am the chair of Lakeview District. We don't get paid either, but we do get a gas allowance, which really helps out because gas now is almost $5 a gallon. So that's really understandable, and 200 over months is not very high for today's standards. I could see it in the 60s or something, and it'd be really high at 75, but it isn't now. We just making it so that we can function I think. I agree with you, yeah.
I think after thinking back here, just on crazy work, when I was on last year, they had a separate resolution of what to do, and so what I mean. But that was paid when I was on it. So, I think they did raise it, big program.
You guys did absolutely.
When we travel, yeah.
We received currently.
We are receiving $200. We have been receiving $200. Then there was concern about whether or not that was appropriate, so that's why we came back to the council today to make sure we clear it up and we can move forward one way or the other.
So was the $75 for the one wasn't established, was that already there too?
Yes.
I got a question.
We've only had one time where we didn't have a quorum, otherwise we've had quorums.
I have a question. The Board of Health, before the tribe took over, I mean, the board pay was actually $150. Article 4, Section 1 of the bylaws, it says that tribal council shall not increase their salaries during their existing term in office. As I understand it, the previous council had gotten 2 raises. So what's the problem here in paying these guys what they're worth? Like Tori said, they have several programs that they oversee. I mean, help them out here. Teresa having to pay for their travel. How come you guys don't chip in like that? It's important that these guys go and meet with other tribes.
Right.
You know, I mean, at least give them their 150 back. At the very least, I mean, you guys gave yourselves a raise.
There's cost of living increases, but my point is that there was layoffs made, they're not even quite sure, where they're at financially, because the board hasn't had the opportunity to meet with the accountant themselves. And that's what I'm saying, they need to bring the justification here and show us where it'll come out of, with their accountant.
So previous to this board, it was run by this body right here. So this body right here is making them pay for what you guys did.
No, No, what we did was we put money for the dialysis center, Dan. And that was priority for us.
What-
That's where the carryover will, yeah, where is the dialysis?
What
That's
dialysis?
my question. That's my question.
So there's been a lot of meetings. How many have you guys been to?
Meeting?
Yep, Board of Health meetings.
But I
On
wanted
dialysis, that way we would have answers here. Instead of tearing them down, they've been really working.
yeah, I don't have to work. I communicated with them, but what I'm saying is they need to meet with the council.
But in those meetings too, I mean, you can come and meet with them and bring the council.
Why hasn't she been invited? That's my thing. She's the accountant.
Shouldn't she just be there because that's her duty?
You guys refer that to,
That's-
the employees, what do you guys get? Non-enrolled members over the enrolled members now.
I'm not gonna ask me.
And from my understanding, those were really high outrageous wages.
It says in the Constitution, no board member shall have done a job that offsets or implements or complements the pay that they get as a tribal council member. Several members on this board are members of different boards and they get paid by the hour whenever they have meetings.
Nobody is. Nobody is.
For help-
Not one council member gets paid
And
separate.
so other people on these boards should, give her due consideration. If you're getting your money easily, you should help her get her money easily. Because she's doing basically the same thing you guys are doing. You're helping the tribe implement procedure and policy, and you're getting paid for it, above your pay grade, above your normal pay. Constitution says you're not supposed to.
Nobody gets compensated. Nobody gets compensated.
Before you go any further, I'll give you some clarification. Nobody on the tribal council gets paid extra for going to board meetings, when a board has been assumed by the tribal council. Just doesn't happen. They were actually saving $200, well, 5 times 2, they were saving $1,000 by not having to pay meeting pay by having the board under assumption of the council. So that wasn't happening. I just wanted to correct you on that. That wasn't what was happening. Nobody got paid extra over what we already get paid. That would be double dipping, and that would be illegal.
Yeah, see?
All right, my mistake.
Were you guys gonna entertain these? Wanted to know if we entertain a motion on this, or do we want to table this, or do we want to?
You know, you could say it was temporary until, if our President Trump interviews, then it can always be changed to go lower because of the finances involved. You know, it's not set in stone, you can't change it once it's there, you can't ever change it. Constantly doing that with other programs, other things, you can do that with the board and their pay, curriculum pay.
Okay, so, just to clarify, what exactly is your request right now? Because you guys are getting the $200.
And we're asking that be recognized in the board pay amount for this year. We have it budgeted in our revenue account, not our carryover. We're not using any carryover. We have no carryover to use. So it's coming from our revenue. And part of what we've done is really amped up our revenue and our collection of money. That is kind of where I think the tribe is going to depend on bringing in our income. It's going to be revenue. It's not going to be contracts and grants so much anymore. It's going to have to be an effort by our tribe to either do billing and get reimbursed and paid for the services we provide. So, that is something that we're working on quite a bit, getting all that information to go together. So we're just not relying on what Trump comes up with, and handing to us. So we're looking at all these other things and we're trying to improve the financial aspects for the Board of Health and all the tribe members. We're trying to make sure that they benefit from it. But it does take a lot of work on our part and a lot of meetings and a lot of participation. And your Board of Health has been very active and we've been meeting and doing the work that we're supposed to do.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
I'll second.
Motion by Donovan Lumberhand to approve compensation rates for the Northern Cheyenne Tribal Health Board of Commissioners, second by Tori Davy. Melissa Lombard,
No.
Howard Montiveros,
No.
Stephen Raineyberg,
Yes.
Eva Foote,
No.
Tori Davy,
Yes.
Donovan Lumberhand,
Yes.
Teresa Small,
Yes.
Gwen Spotted Horse. No. Melissa Fisher,
No.
4 yes, 5 no, motion defeated.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appoint brand inspectors, resolution appointing brand inspectors, so. We're going to shortage brand inspectors here, Skinner just retired down the road here. The other day, Rowdy had a haul of horse on the ice and inspection. On the road down the road, couldn't do inspection on nobody around. So I called Matt, always asked him if issues, brand inspectors kind of been an issue for a while, it's getting worse. So I asked him, what do we need to do? Of course, Matt being Matt that he is, he, at one time, he told us, I'm inspecting, not inspecting cattle from China. That's hampering a lot of things here, a lot of people, some of our main sources of income. So what I did is, I tried this in the past, and I think everybody wanted to advertise, and I did advertise it, I posted it, and ran it. And I got the applicants here in this resolution, so I'll just read the resolution appointing brand inspectors. Whereas Northern Tribal Council pursuant to 4 Section 1A of the Constitution has authority to negotiate state and local governments on behalf of the tribe. Northern Cheyenne Tribal Council is authorized to adopt resolutions regulating procedures of tribal agencies and tribal officials of the reservation pursuant to Article 4, Section 1R of the Constitution. Whereas Article 1, Section 1 of the bylaws authorizes the president with advice and consent of the tribal council to appoint delegates, representatives, committees, and other officers as are deemed proper from time to time. Whereas an important industry on Northern Cheyenne Reservation is livestock, and there's a lack of brand inspectors to ensure that members can effectively manage and sell livestock. Whereas the Northern Cheyenne Tribal Council deems to necessary to appoint brand inspectors to serve the reservation, the tribal president has solicited for tribal members who live on the reservation and have the requisite expertise and equipment to serve that capacity. Now therefore be resolved, Northern Cheyenne Tribal Council hereby appoints and approves the following brand inspectors: Ty Fisher, Warren Thompson, Rowdy Alexander, Dave Fox, and Tommy Fluffner.
When was it advertised?
February 3rd is when it was posted.
Gene, well, the state recognize our brand inspectors?
Yeah, well, my plan is just to get you guys to support them. See, that Matt always keeps pushing for a petition. He wants a petition. He keeps saying petition. And the outside world, I guess, to be an inspector, you go to these ranchers and whatever area they live in, and you petition yourself to them, say, I want to be a brand inspector, and they sign that petition. I don't know what the number is on it, but that's how it works. When I talked to Rowdy the other day, he said that when he became a brand inspector, there was no petition, they just gave it to him. He was allowed to do it. So Matt Noyes is just continuing to hammer us here. What my plan is to, if you guys support this, I'm gonna go out to the ranchers and see if I can get their signature on it too. And then present that to the state, saying here, this is who we want. They'll be state certified inspector.
So what happened before too was I actually talked to Matt's boss over a couple of things, but, they were waiting for our specification, waiting for names. So I would just go above Matt and send it to him.
Yeah, but I think, like I said, I think I'll get that petition signed and I'll just carry it up to Honeycutt, the big ones. Jay Bonner, he talked to me, Jay Wonder,
Make a motion
Aye.
to approve.
Okay, president is SCHR.
is what now?
SCHR. FISCHER.
Okay.
I'll second.
She's the second.
Okay.
Motion by Tori David to appoint grant inspectors, second by Teresa's mom, Melissa Longer,
With corrections to the name.
with corrections to the name. Carl Montiveros,
Yes.
Stephen Rainey Eva Foote, Tori David,
Yes.
Don Vanderham,
Yes.
Teresa Small, Gwen Spotted Horse, Melissa Fisher,
Yes.
9 yes, motion carried.
Item 13. That's just a contract.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve, the contract service for Zion's Chestnut. And I'll go down to the, whereas the Zion's Chestnut law firm attorneys have provided legal services with the tribe on a broad variety of matters since 1973, whereas the new attorney contract service is attached to this resolution. Whereas the tribal council wishes to continue its relationship with the attorneys under the terms of the attached attorney contract for services, which covers October 1st, 2025 through September 30th, 2028. Therefore, be it resolved that the tribal council hereby approves and directs the tribal president to sign the attached attorney contract for service that is my motion.
I want to say something real quick. I've been getting a lot of calls from, some people that, are interested in this contract. A couple are board members of this tribe. Just, passed their state bar exam. He lives in New York and is willing to also shuttle up to DC to be a lobbyist for us. That's one thing I noticed in my travels, that, Northern Cheyenne doesn't have a lobbyist. You know, we don't have anybody in DC keeping an eye out for us. And I think that it's time to step our game up a little bit. I would like to see this contract be put out on RFP and give them tribal members an opportunity to be heard. We talked about tribal members taking care of our own and you know, asking them to go to school and put all this time and effort into things. And then it comes down to it, we don't give them that opportunity to help their tribe out. The one I talked to, I actually talked to two, but the one really interested. That was her whole idea of going to law school, was to come back and provide for her tribe. And I think we need to afford her that opportunity, not only her, but the other individuals that's interested too. They're enrolled members. I think it's time to make a change. That's what I mean. I'd like to see somebody that has our best interest, or that they're from here, they grow here, they know their shine, that they have their interest to share, you know. I would like to see an RFP put up, at least have them heard, and see what they got to offer, you know, what they have to offer at this point.
I'm also curious if and when you retire Chestnut, right, just as an example, you have a retainer's fee, X number of dollars. And a lot of times it's so outrageous, it's pathetic. And then if it takes a court case, you have to pay more. It should be just across the board. Lawyers get paid, and then if the case comes up, it's go to court. You know, you're paying them twice. It seems to me to find a more reliable lawyer that would help people without basically stealing from them. That's what I thought.
I have a question. Okay, with Zion's, yes, representing in 73, it was his father that used to come here to these meetings, he would show up and produce for our tribe. He was a lawyer. Yeah, this one, Junior, Brian, just comes into the picture, he has not even passed the Montana bar. Yeah. You look at his profile in Washington State, he does have a Washington State bar license. But you look at his profile, look at how looking to just go online and type it in there, it comes. He has Indian
That's a specialty, is Indian law, I guess. But what has he produced for us here? We should have been, he should be looking out for our best interests. I don't see that happening with this younger one. Now, he's registered, I believe, over at tribal court. He paid us $100 or whatever the cost is, so that he can practice in tribal court. We're paying him a lot of money, and we don't know what that figure is. I'm assuming it's a lot of money, that's what I've heard. No, I could probably run through that. Okay, so we have this stuff coming down the pipeline about Medicare, Medicaid, Project 2025. All this, he had access to. This thing with Colstrip, was that nuclear thing. He has access to those companies. They're based in Washington State where he lives. But none of this has been brought back to the council for us. He doesn't come here. But we pay him a set amount of dollars. Now what do you produce for us? What have you done for us? This whole thing was a lawless thing. He should have been here saying, hey, look, you guys don't have a tribal court. You don't have a jailhouse. This is all happening. You got a lot of us women down there. I'm your lawyer. Let me see what I can do.
He does go to DC and lobby.
Yeah, but what does he bring here? What do we see? What do you guys report back and say, hey, look, this is what he's doing? This is for the money that we're paying. This is what he's bringing to us.
And he does a lot of things for women too, so.
For who?
They put in a lot of hours, Brian and his associates put in a lot of pro bono hours.
Well, I think it's time to kind of change that up and give our tribal members the opportunity to bid for that. What is the reason to expedite his contract when it's not even up until October 25th? You're not putting out bids for it?
Because we have a lot of obligations, large obligations open with him.
Well, he
We
can
don't
come
wanna take any
October
chances on
2025.
these.
Contracts are set for dates. You agree to that date.
We have our broadband, we have our law enforcement, we have our renewable energy, we have Sand Creek, there's so many things that are working on. His team works on basically everything for us.
Well, we don't hear about it. You don't hear about it.
You're seeing your move, this is a broadcast.
Okay. So my point is this needs to be put out as a bid.
Yeah.
Solicit others, give our Cheyenne people, our enrolled members. They have legitimate, they've graduated from good colleges, universities. They passed the Montana bar.
Cheyenne preference?
And it should be Cheyenne preference. We need to move up. Here we are relying on something we're way back.
We have a motion and a second.
I guess I come here with a lot of concerns, and some of them, you guys have good points, but some of them, are just kind of shooting from the head. I guess my biggest question is, why don't you guys listen to the people? Why? None of you guys, minus Teresa, Jean, go listen to at district meetings. We are the people that elected you. And at the last meeting, Tori here had to remind you guys of that. When somebody's up there talking, you try to brush them off. Oh, there's a motion, there's a second. And then you have two other councilmen who's always on their phones writing notes to each other. When are
when are you guys gonna start holding each other accountable? You guys are so quick to, President, we'll beat you. Oh yeah, we'll beat you. That's the powers that this tribal council developed. And there's a lot of good ideas from all of you. Everyone has their own good ideas. Have you implemented them? Some of you have, some of you haven't. A lot of you have kind of deviated away from the Constitution. You don't follow it anymore. I've heard Tory here over and over and over again try to remind you guys, but all he gets is, come to work, Tory. Won't you come to work for your job? Oh, you need to quit hauling around. You know? There's one thing about Tory is he has not deviated away from that Constitution. So far, this president, as far as I know, has not deviated from that Constitution. Now, you justified, Melissa, we have a dialysis center. I would bet money that dialysis center down there becomes our community building for Lakeview. Because there's no funding for it. And our funding for our community building keeps disappearing.
It's there, you're putting all this information out.
Well, can I finish? Can I finish and then you'll have your thing? You're so quick to argue with everybody. You work for the people here.
The people,
Why don't you
we have
remember that?
17,000 people we make decisions for, not just the people that sit in here.
Oh, you don't make decisions for Gene's squad? Because they're his squad? You were elected at large. You represent every tribal member. You just now got done saying that. Did you just now say that? You represent 12,000 more.
Can I get order here?
So, with all that being said, I mean, there's accountability that this body refuses to show on it. You know? I mean, with the exception of Tory, Teresa, and Donovan, you know, the rest of you guys think you guys know what's best for the people, and you don't listen to the people anymore. That's hard. I mean, I'd like to ask, maybe a tribal secretary. I filed a constitutional complaint of removal on one of the judges, and it stopped at tribal secretary's
It's not
office.
wrong. Read it and it tells you, it lays out how to do it. That's not the correct way to do it. You don't file a subpoena.
Section 17.3 of the separation of powers ordinance. That states a removal of a judge has to be filed to the constitutional court and to the clerk of court. Clerk of court serves the tribal secretary. Tribal secretary has 7 days.
All she does is validate the signature, that's it. She
And
doesn't
send
have
out a
to
response,
process.
and send out a
So
response.
these are holding up the process, didn't they? You put wrong information out because it's not meeting its responsibility.
She had 7 days to write a response to the clerk of court, to the complainant, and to the respondent.
That she heard.
That's just what I'm talking about right there. Why are you so quick to argue? Why are you so quick to put up your defenses? Why? That's what I want to know. I mean, nobody's ever stood up to, I guess, to you. But I'm here to do that today. In front of your constituents, I want to serve you a complaint removal. And it's up to you if you're going to sign it as served.
I'll send it.
Now this here is, you know, I know you guys ain't gonna vote to remove her. I know that because you guys have already set precedents. just for that. But I'm here today to challenge the rest of his ethics. That's what I'm here for. He's saying, right here.
That's not a certificate of service. Get a certificate of
And I
service.
refuse to sign.
I was never afforded a certificate of service when I was served, I just had to sign on top.
Or what?
When I was served with Angels Judge,
It's not a complaint for renewal.
does it have to do well? If
This
you're
is a
served,
complaint for
you get a certificate.
renewal.
Either way,
Certificate of service.
So, I mean, the certificate of service would be a signature on mine, that's why. Just where I'm going to remove it. So you guys will sit here today and involve in personnel issues and dictate, boards and dictate to everybody else. I mean, we as a people, we need to take our power back. Because you guys all work for us. That's plain and simple. It is, okay, we're gonna remove. Okay. Check each other's backyards. You know, there's another one here, when a councilman attacked a woman. And nobody wants to stand up for that.
You're just making accusations that are far-fetched.
We were all here.
We need to keep order here. Can we please get back to the agenda item? Item number,
Not that. So, I'm representing, Stella as well. She has a complaint also. Now, are you guys gonna hear that? Or not? You know? It's time that the council be checked. It's time, Stella, if you bring your paper up here, go serve them. You guys want to entertain separation of powers, you want to entertain everything, that entertain the people. That we're the ones you work for. So now the rest of you, it's up to you if you're gonna follow your own code of ethics.
we're gonna move on.
So if you guys want to set an evidentiary hearing on matters, you know, involving, maybe you guys should have given administration an opportunity to handle whatever situation that was, or let the courts handle whatever situation that was. You know, I've asked this body here right now to, set it for a hearing, and we'll bring evidence and everything else to the hearing, you know? Thank you.
we have a motion and a second on the floor.
Motion by Melissa Fisher to approve contract for services with Zion's Chestnut Law Firm, second by Melissa Lombard. Melissa Lombard? Yes. Howard Montaveros?
Yes.
Stephen Raineyberg?
Yes.
Eva Foote? Yes. Troy Davy?
Yes.
Donovan Lumberhand?
Yes.
Teresa Small? No. Gwen Spotted? Yes. Melissa Fisher?
Yes.
8 yes, 1 no, motion carried.
There's something, we've been patiently waiting all day
Okay,
for what happened to our son.
yeah,
On the Spanish Rock Road.
I've made about, 14 letters to the council, to the BIA, and, chief of police.
Yes, and we received those letters, they were in the boxes in the council area. We received them, they were put in the boxes.
Yeah, we got the letters.
We got the letters.
Letters?
Yeah.
Okay, we're just waiting for the response, or we're waiting for the response. And we have did this before when our son got hit by a plain little whirlwind. We gave everybody letters like this, and we did not get help. And this is the second time. And our son died after he was attacked. He had a swelling brain, according to the autopsy. He was hit in the head with a shovel. I have pictures, photos of here. This is a shovel, and there's blood here. And then there's chairs where he was sitting. There's blood on there. There was 2 chairs that have blood on there. And this lady cop that came, she did not come near where our son was sitting. There was blood all over his face. She did not talk to our son. I heard in here, she came and said that our son didn't want to take a statement. And nothing, she didn't even take a photo of this. My daughters had to come down from Billings to take these photos. And we forward them to the police department. They have. And to this day, nothing. Those 2 men should have been picked up the same day by the police officer. They were all sitting across, there was 5 men. There was 5 men. And our son has multiple head injuries from the drunk driver that hit him, blaming the whirlwind. To this day, he's walking free. And I don't want these men walking free because my son died. You know, I was taught our values. I'm a Cheyenne, full force, full blood. I'm not just half, I'm not just 1/16. So I had to stay strong for my son. And I talked to him on the phone. After he died, I couldn't make it up there. Just him and my 2 daughters. I have an appointment here. But they said, Mom, brother can hear you. So I talked to my son on the phone. And I told him I was sorry I couldn't be there when he died. And I told him I'm not going to give up this time, son. I'm going to get justice done what they did to you. And there's times I can't even sleep.
And there was just three of us. Tom and me and my son, we took care of him ever since 2012 when he got hit. He couldn't even walk. Me and him had to help him. He was on his way to Bernie. He wanted to be a truck driver. He went to go use computer to go type up his letter. That's when the plane hit him head on, and he was pushed down the ravine. And when I went after his medication at the pharmacy, the pharmacist said, your son would have died if he was on a small vehicle. My son had a big truck, but when he hit, he went through the back windshield, hanging out. And my son has lifetime injuries. His hip was put back together. His arms, he's got a bunch of pins that couldn't come back out. They said if they did, he would always break his arm. And he had, when he hit that steering wheel, they had to take so much because his intestine got crushed. And my son had to wear a wound bag. I almost became a nurse. I should have just been a nurse. But to take care of my son's wound bag, I did a lot for my son. I and him. Till the day they beat him up. He was there, he saw those two men. The man that hit him with that shovel was broke. And the other man was holding two big towels. After he went out, the other one said, I'm gonna come back and beat you up again. And when he had an appointment to his therapist, that's the one that sent him to the hospital. And we went across, and those nurses said, Mike, what happened to you? You got a bruise on your chest. So they had to hit him in the chest first. And there's something wrong with his finger. They called, we can't. We're still working on his finger. So there's a lot of medical records. What happened to my son? But I want your support today. Do something about this. Maureen Johnson, I think that's her name, that red cop that just stood around like a big dummy. We tried to show her the evidence. She didn't even do nothing. And she must have came here with the chief of police. And the prosecutor told me there was a rumor going around in here. So there's people involved in here. What happened to my son? You know, I don't hardly ever get angry. But I was angry. I had to go across and shout out those men that were sitting there, 5 men. And I was told by one of them that hit him, you shouldn't be living in that house. I said, no, that's our house. That's Tom's house. I said, you were not even born
when we lived here, that your house was not even there. So I know, I'm 75 years old. And I know must be pretty good out here. I married Tom. I'm from Bernie. My roots are from Bernie. But when I married Tom, I lived long time with people. So I'm really worried what happened to my son. It's so hard without my son. Even though we took care of him. Took care of my son. He had ups and downs. Like a roller coaster. He was so good sometimes. Then there was times he was not himself. I knew he wasn't my son. And we had to learn how to work with him. Try to understand him. And then sometimes it was good. So I got multiple.
He had multiple mental issues after he was taken out by playing the world up here. And the lady over there was talking about the police department, the BIA. We were taking care of what we thought that was the love that we had for our son. While I thought and I believe in the police department, it came to the point where I was going to beat up Calvin Wilson, but I abstained myself. He's the prosecutor. Donovan Wynn was the chief of police. We went there and I asked for those reports. And Calvin Wilson told me. Calvin Wilson told me no report came to me to prosecute Blame the World. And we went to see Donovan Wynn. And this is what he said. He said, your law and order codes are so old. There's nothing that protects each individual Cheyenne. Anything can happen to you. There's no protective laws. That's what he told us. I was relaxing in my house, like she was saying. When I was in Vietnam, I had money taken out of my pay every month while I was there throughout my service. My older sister wanted to sell that house to my mother. I set up a bank account for my mother and dad. So they bought it with my money. And who in the hell on this earth, on this reservation, that's going to tell me and my wife and my family to go live someplace else? Who would have the nerve to tell me that as a Cheyenne?
I was sitting there in the living room watching TV. All of a sudden, I heard some scuffling going on. I got up and I looked. Mike Snow had two large sticks of that long, that big around, leaning over my son. I ready to hit him again. They thought maybe he was alone. And that Jeff, I don't know if it's a spade or wood legs. He hit my son over the head and broke the shovel. And they thought there was nobody home. They took off. And I called for the police and the ambulance. He was bleeding 2 places on his head. You can see the pictures. The police, that female police did not take any pictures at all. I showed her where the evidence was. She never did nothing. She just stood there while my son was bleeding from the head. I told my son, let's go take you to the ER Pro. Went up there, and the doctor sent him to Billings to make sure that he didn't have a cracked skull. But the FBI got involved with it out of Billings. He went through those medical records, told my daughter, he said that if this could be gone into a federal charge, your son had to have an open skull with brain fluid coming out of his head. And then my son had an appointment in Billings. Behavior Health was working with Dr. Cruz. We went there. After he was hit, he was totally, completely different person. So when he went to see his psychiatrist sent him to the ER, and that's where he ended up in the psych ward. That one day he called me, wanted some money for pop and soda, candy bars. So we took that money over there. And then I had an appointment at the VA. And then I went with Charlotte State, and I went there to give him more money. When I talked to the receptionist told me to hold on. There's a social service lady came to see me. He said, I need to talk to you. And I thought she was going to give me some good news that my son was improving ever since the attack. I went with her and we went into her office to sit down. And she said, your son died this morning. Peacefully. But he suffered from that show. They tried to revive him. They couldn't do it. They took his body to the ER in the village clinic. They also couldn't revive him.
So I went down into the ER. He was laying there. Shine, we talked to him. My oldest daughter came. We both like and now Charlotte, Laura went and Charlotte. You know, Mike Snow and then Jeff spilled 5 generations of my blood, our blood, on these poles. Giants, they have traditional laws about that. And I wanted to, I didn't want, we're not here to anything that relates to political issues. We wanted you to understand straight up front what happened to our son. And now we're dealing with this father, Minister Rob Stowe. While we were having this funeral services feed at my house, in our yard, very disrespectful. On that road, it was cutting grass. That grass needed to be cut. My oldest daughter got up, went over there, went like this to cut out of there. So some of the ladies, some of the people here that I'm talking about, but the protection that our forefathers made when this reservation was established in 1884 up to now. We don't know, maybe they're good, maybe weak, we don't know. But I'm supposed to get a call from Washington, D.C., by the FBI department. And that's why my daughters took these pictures. About 4 days later, that criminal investigator came and finally took the evidence. We showed him the evidence. And we talked to the chief of police, and he told us, write her up. See, that's what happens to a lot of our people. And the old timers say this, we're not dogs. Yes, I am. People come here, come from different parts of the United States that can't make it out there. They come here and they think that they're gonna tell us where to live, when to jump, what to do. That's a negative on that. And my wife told me that she told Mike Snow, like what she was saying. Your dad, Rob Snow, came in here, hobo in, had nothing. You should pack your family and go back to Washington. So we're still dealing with this. And I said,
mine. He put my son 6 feet under the ground, and he can't come over and beat up my son. But I have a surprise for him. When I looked at my son laying there, 2 grown men using weapons on my son. And my own son was unable to defend himself. So that's the reason why we came to town from the council, the chair. That's good, you know. And we're not going to stop. We're going to keep going until there's justice for our son. He didn't need to die. So thank you for listening to us.
We need, like you said, we need to use SDR, this we have to sit down, like, have a day with them, and see what they say.
Let everybody know that we're gonna do an autopsy because of his age. But my oldest daughter can talk fast. They did an autopsy before they sent him to Forsyth. He had a swelling brain. No wonder doctors couldn't find how to help him. They called us. And they were gonna send him to state hospital. And I said, no, I don't want him over there, out there, son. And he can come home. So I thought my son was gonna come home.
What she was talking about there when I was in there with your son. Coroner came in and she said that at this stage we're not going to do an autopsy. And I told her about what was done to Thomas. She went back out. 5 minutes later, she came back in. She said, we're going to do a full autopsy on your son. Those cuts on his head. And they got my oldest daughter's email. And when they were done, talk to my son. Talk to his spirit. That resuscitation equipment is still on his face, on 30. I kissed him on the cheek. I kissed him on this one. And then the coroner said, we're going to give him a full-scale So when they were done with that, they sent the result to the daughter. And that's what my wife was explaining. If I wasn't there, they could have just run through, just like a dog. So that changed the whole scenario. And in that report, he had a swollen brain.
You know, we already set precedents with the other exclusions that took place. So I think that we need to move forward. Because these individuals defended Busby, these elders defended Busby, and then they're still right in the middle of the situation. We have to protect them.
We were told that, the police were a camera. So asked if it was on or if she turned it on. So somebody has to investigate that too. But
We're ready to sit down after this happens, meet after this, tomorrow, whenever it may be, sure, better plan to do this.
You know, some people might think we're exaggerating. That's the true story. And you know, I got a call during that funeral arrangements. So ladies, don't department. She told me that my son donated his eyes to someone that is blind. And that lady told me that we were going to get a packet 2 to 3 weeks, and we were going to know those 2 people that my son gave his eyes to those 2. We're going to know those things. Even though my son that Jeff put him in 6 feet under the ground, with this eye donation, we feel that my son, our son, helping those 2, they're going to be saved. They're going to save him. They're going to live a long life. They're going to, because of those donations from our son. And this isn't the whole incident that Mike has come to our yard. And he was supposed to come back home at all. My elderly brother, Richard, got beat up on Mike with brass knuckles, almost cut his half in half. Believers. Mike has trained some boys, shy boys, to use a weapon. He hit my relative, one of my relatives, a young girl, hit him on the head, hit her on the head. That young lady is not normal anymore. We didn't know that now that we know that people are scared, and we know for a fact there's a lot of drugs going on there in Spanish. We see it, our people see it, they're scared, they don't want to say it. And that's when I heard that the neighborhood youth are in the watch. You see something, do something. You've been seeing vehicles there in that area with Texas plates every so often, late at night or early in the morning when we can see those plates. So I hope all of you will, in your decisions, do something. Don't let it go in one ear and then come on or the other ear. It's horrible. It's tough. Stayed up all night with our son for the last time. For both. That's what I said. What was done to our home that I bought my money when I gave up my life to fight in Vietnam for our people here. All those pictures you see of ancestors. People sure can say things to us, do things to us. Our reservation was paid for in flesh and blood. They don't know. They just come in here, they go. And you guys, all of you, took the same oath that I took. I was 17 years old when I took the step forward. Took the oath to uphold, to protect. That's the same oath you took when you accepted to be a council person. So, thank you for listening to us. We're not exaggerating. The other day, I and Charlotte, we just try to keep ourselves occupied. But homes is always up here. So we gassed up, we threw the trash away. We like to chew, mint, pouches, go with you, got a good can. We like more go lights. Stop over there, talk to him, very like my youngest brother. And my niece, Marie, I talk to her. I talk to Margaret. Take care of her, take care of her son.
then after that. And that's what some of these, we made it over Vietnam. That's all. I'm here, and I have my big sister. I have my nieces, now, great grandchildren, two youngest ones. We didn't make it out there, make it back, we will be around. And he was right, it's true, it's safe. That didn't happen. We're gonna do it with that forever. Until we die. But you know, I told my family, the funeral, he made me a CD. He said the first song, and the song is for us. Schizophrenia, bipolar, and PTSD. That's what he was diagnosed with after the Trump driver ran into. And I have 100% stable therapy. I take medication. And he said, I'm done with this. Listen to it. I listened to that song. And then that song says, don't panic. Everything's going to be all right. So when I even got kind of tired, trying to do something to PTSD, he told each other, son, don't end up having everything. Then I did that, I didn't. That's what he told me, that don't end up. And everything's going to be all right. So thank you for listening.
Second by Melissa Fisher, second by Melissa Lombard. Stephen Reiniger.
Yes.
You go first. Troy Davy.
Yes.
Donovan Trahan.
Yes.
Teresa Swan. Teresa. Glenn Spotted. Melissa Fisher.
Yes.
They want the life control. Life is, so, I don't even know how to do this. Where's the notes?
and streams.